We always hear that phrase, right? Do something today that your future self will thank you for.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
And you immediately think it has to be some huge accomplishment, like funding your retirement or, I don't know, running a marathon.
Something you can tick off a list.
Yeah.
But what our sources are pointing to today is something, well, a lot deeper. There's a paradox in that statement.
A paradox.
Yeah. The biggest gift isn't the accomplishment itself. It's the choice to be conscious while you're doing it. It's the act of living deliberately. You're not just serving your future self.
You're actually creating them.
You are actively creating them moment by moment. That's it.
And that changes everything. Because it means authenticity isn't this thing you go find. It's something you have to liberate over and over again with conscious choices.
And that's our mission for this deep dive. We've pulled together sources from, well, everywhere, philosophy, literature, practical advice, to really look at the architecture of that freedom.
Okay, so where do we start? This idea of liberation.
I think we have to start with the intellect, with criticism. Leo Tolstoy had this observation that, well, that the longer humanity is around, the more liberated it becomes. It starts shedding all these inherited ideas.
Right, he called our time the age of criticism.
He did, and that's not just some abstract, historical idea. It's a personal summons. It's a call for real intellectual honesty.
It reminds me of Immanuel Kant. Did he have that thing about ideas having to stand trial?
Exactly, his free and public trial. He argued that anything that's truly worthy of respect has to be able to withstand that. It can't hide.
And when something tries to hide, like a dogma or a political system that says, just believe because I said so.
It shows its own weakness.
Yeah.
Exactly. If it has to claim some kind of divine exemption or hide behind power, it's basically admitting it's fragile. It's not sacred.
So this is about constructive criticism, not just tearing everything down.
Oh, absolutely. Think about what Pythagoras told his students. Study everything and put intellect first. The intellect's job isn't to destroy, it's to clarify.
It can't help but replace a falsehood with a truth.
That's its nature. It doesn't burn down what's sacred. It burns away what just claimed to be sacred. And all you're left with is what's real.
But isn't there a risk there? For someone listening, if you start questioning everything, couldn't that just lead to, debilitating self-doubt? Aren't you just tearing down your own foundation?
That is a great question, and it's a crucial distinction. You're not tearing down the foundation. You're getting rid of the termites.
Okay.
You only lose your illusions, and that's a huge gain, because when you shed those illusions, those stories you inherited about who you're supposed to be, you gain the ability to act consciously, not just automatically.
The doubt only hurts if you thought the illusion was real.
That's it. And having the courage to question. That's the very first gift you give that future self.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So once you've done that intellectual work, you've burned away the external falsehoods, you immediately run into an internal problem.
The internal obstacle, yes.
Which is this paradox of grasping. I was reading the poet Ocean Vuong, and he nailed it. He said, too much joy is lost in our desperation to keep it.
Wow. That is brutally true, isn't it? The very act of clutching at happiness or security or whatever it is.
You strangle it.
You strangle the very thing you love. You try so hard to have the feeling that you destroy the being of the moment. And then it's gone.
In this desperation, this grasping, it often shows up as this frantic search for outside help, for guidance.
It does. And our sources point to this universal pattern. You see it in almost every tradition. It's always a being on a, let's call it a lower, struggling level, who's getting advice from a being on a higher, more enlightened level.
The divine counsel.
The divine counsel pattern, exactly.
Yeah.
You see it with Odysseus, right? He's struggling for 10 years, but Athena is always there, whispering in his ear.
Or Jesus speaking to his father, Martin Luther King speaking to Jesus, Arjuna and Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita.
It's everywhere. The hero always seems to need this external wisdom to get through the chaos.
But there's a secret in there, isn't there?
There is. It's hidden in plain sight. And it's the core insight of this whole thing. The guide isn't actually external.
So like in the Legend of Bagger Vance.
Exactly like that. Juna is fighting for his authentic golf swing, and he's got this divine guide, Bagger Vance. But when Bagger leaves,
I realizes Bagger is Juna.
the wisdom was him all along. It was the authentic self just waiting to be accessed, not a separate person giving him tips.
So, wait. Are we saying Athena is just a metaphor for Odysseus' higher reasoning finally kicking in? That Krishna is just Arjuna's deepest self, his dharma speaking to him.
That's precisely the implication. And in the Gita, dharma just means your true nature, your right path. Krishna wasn't giving external orders. He was helping Arjuna hear what he already knew.
The wisdom shows up when the struggle stops.
Yes. When we stop fighting ourselves, when we stop betraying our own deepest nature.
It emerges from stillness.
The still mind reflects only peace. Why? Because it finally stopped doing that exhausting thing of fighting itself, that inner Bagger Vance, that Athena. It's available to you in any moment if we just choose consciousness over desperation.
And once you realize that guide is inside you, that
Yeah.
you are whole, that has to change how you see other people.
It's a prerequisite, really. It leads right into the architecture of freedom. Robert Greene Ingersoll defined tolerance in a way that just lays it all out. He said, "Tolerance is giving to every other human being every right you claim for yourself."
Freedom is indivisible.
It's indivisible. You can't deny it to others without, on some level, limiting your own. But the deeper link is this. To give others that freedom, you first have to claim it for yourself by questioning all those prejudices we started with.
And the thing that stops us from doing that, the guard at the gate of all those inherited stories, is fear.
Always fear.
Jack Canfield says everything you want is on the other side of fear. And that fear is the guardian of the false self, the part of you that chose safety over truth a long, long time ago.
That's a critical point. The fear of being isolated, the fear of being wrong, of being unstable, those are the chains. We're terrified that if we let go of the illusions, there will just be nothing.
So how do you cross it? You can't just pretend you're not afraid.
No, and this is where strength comes in, but we misunderstand it. We think strength is something you have to possess before you act.
Like a resource you have in the bank.
Right. But the sources show it's the opposite. There's that incredible quote, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have."
That hits hard. It implies strength isn't something you have, it's something that appears.
It appears. It emerges when you stop avoiding what you know you have to face. When the struggle to keep up the false self just gets too exhausting, you find the strength when you run out of other options.
But the whole point of this deep dive is, why wait?
Why wait for necessity to show you your own power? Exactly.
So, okay. We use criticism, we stop grasping, we claim freedom, we cross fear, which brings us to the actual active part. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself.
And that shift from finding to creating is everything. Finding is passive. You're just hoping to stumble over who you are. Creating is active. Every choice is a brushstroke.
And your environment is a huge part of that.
A massive part. The company we keep, the conversations we have, they all influence our choices. If you surround yourself with people who just reinforce the illusions you're trying to escape,
You're making it 10 times harder on yourself.
exponentially harder. So choosing your environment isn't a small thing. It's a fundamental act of self-creation.
You know, there's a great metaphor for this from the costume designer Edith Head. She said, you can have anything you want in life if you dress for it.
Which sounds so superficial on the surface.
Right. But it's not. The insight is so deep. It means you become what you practice. You don't wait to feel confident to act confident.
You dress for it. You speak as if. The outer performance, when it's a conscious choice, actually shapes the inner reality. Every single choice is a vote for the person you are becoming, right now.
So let's bring this all together. For the person who wants that authentic swing, that alignment with their own Bagger Vance.
Okay. The path to liberation, not discovery, seems to have five key commitments. First, you have to question inherited beliefs.
Without fear.
Without fear. Second, you stop the desperate grasping. You let go. Third, you claim radical freedom for yourself, and you have to extend it to everyone else.
And fourth, recognizing the wisdom within, that Athena, that Krishna, it's already there.
When you get still enough to hear it. And then fifth, finally, you make those conscious choices, your environment, your actions, your metaphorical outfit. You actively create yourself.
And looking back at those divine figures, Jesus, Arjuna, their dialogues weren't really about getting new information from the outside.
No, it was about maintaining a fierce, constant awareness of a presence that was already within them. It was about alignment with their truest nature, their dharma.
The ultimate gift to our future self, then, is just the willingness to stop avoiding who we really are.
That's the authentic swing. That's the coming home. It's choosing to live consciously.
So for you, listening right now, to give yourself that gift today, you can start so small. Question one belief you've always held. Take one tiny action that crosses a familiar fear.
Or just choose your company wisely for the next day. Or even simpler, Just sit. Sit in stillness long enough to hear the wisdom that's already talking.
And we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on, something that pulls all this together.
We heard that quote, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have." But why wait for necessity? If the guide, the strength, the wisdom you need was always right there, walking beside you, whispering, waiting for you to realize it was you all along. What one conscious choice are you still putting off because you think the strength you need is somewhere out there and not already right here?